You're tuned in to the Final Takeaways podcast edition. Before we get comfortable, let's give you a few seconds to subscribe to this fast-growing channel. And of course, share it to your Facebook or other social media pages and comment below the video. Alrighty, let's begin. Today, we are taking a closer look at allegations by the United States that certain officials were helping the Mohameds smuggle gold out of Guyana and defrauding the government in the process. U.S. federal prosecutors have evidence that the Mohameds were reusing old gold seals and customs declaration documents. As for the Guyanese government officials involved, that's why we're here. There's a good chance you already heard about May Thomas. She's a former government official who the U.S. found out was helping the Mohameds before they went ahead and sanctioned her and took away her U.S. visa. That happened in 2024. Fast forward to October 2025. The person most recently implicated in this scandal is GHK Lall. But Lal continues to defend himself against allegations that he misused his office as chairman of the Guyana Gold Board between 2017 and 2020 to help the Mohameds smuggle gold out of Guyana, thereby avoiding paying the taxes and royalties on sale and export owed to the Guyana government. Public opinion remains divided on Lal's tenure at the Gold Board. But if there's one claim by GHK Lal that hasn't been debunked as false, it is his explanation of the government agencies that were involved in the gold export procedures while he was chairman. Lal tells us there was a step-by-step procedure required each time gold was being shipped out of the country. Here's what he said days ago at a press briefing in Georgetown, Guyana. Quote, "Say you have gold to export and you're a licensed gold dealer. You, the dealer or exporter, inform the Guyana Gold Board and the operations. Senior folks review your documents and arrange with GRA Customs, the Guyana Police Narcotics Unit and CANU to go to the dealer's premises, inspect, weigh, seal off, and sign, and the exporter takes it from there." End quote. This structural approach involving multiple team players is intended to promote transparency and prevent gold smuggling or other nefarious conduct by dealers and exporters. More importantly, these procedures are required by law to comply with the local Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Act. All of this sounds good on paper, yet we're here, confronted by a scandal involving a gold smuggling scheme allegedly spearheaded by Guyanese billionaire businessmen Azruddin and Nazar Mohamed. Here are several key questions that need to be asked. Did the verification and security processes fail, or was the export verification procedure compromised? If so, was it compromised before, during, or after the fact? If compromised after these agencies signed off, then by whom or what other agencies? Were air or sea cargo officials involved? These are questions for investigators to dig for answers to. Fast forward to October 2025, and the Mohameds have now been criminally charged for 11 counts of violations in relation to their gold export business. And this is not your average case. This is a federal case that is to be tried in federal court in the United States, provided that the men are extradited, because the Guyana government has the last say as to whether or not it will extradite the Mohameds. You never know. You never know what could happen, especially if there is local interest to protect. Anyway, if the Guyanese businessmen are found guilty, they could face up to 20 years on each count. Do the math. That would pretty much mean the rest of their lives behind bars, unless the sentences run concurrently. In other words, each of them could serve only 20 years, which would satisfy the punishment aspect for the American legal system. I digressed. Let's get back to talking about the officials allegedly involved. So far, United States court filings and records allege that the Mohameds were assisted by officials working directly with or linked to the government between 2017 and 2024. Now, there's a caveat. Government officials could mean literally anyone who has worked within this government or the previous government or agencies during the stated timeline when the alleged gold smuggling scheme was apparently thriving. Again, the U.S. said that was in or around 2017 to June 2024, when the feds finally intercepted a $5.3 million gold shipment from the Mohameds at the Miami International Airport. So, who are these so-called officials implicated in the Mohameds' federal case? We already told you about May Thomas in at least 2 previous videos uploaded to our channel. You're welcome to check them out at your leisure after you watch this video. Moving on. Page 10 of the U.S. indictment file alleges that both Mohameds paid, quote, bribery to Guyanese government officials. Therefore, Thomas wasn't the only one. Could the others be persons from within the 4 agencies we're about to name? According to Lal, a team of officials is authorized to oversee the gold export process from the Guyana side. They come from these local offices or agencies. 1. The Guyana Gold Board. 2. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, CANU. 3. The Guyana Revenue Authority, GRA. And 4. The Guyana Police Force. So, you have the Gold Board, which deals with facilitating and regulating the gold trade within Guyana. Next, you have CANU, which, to put it simply in this case, is present to ensure that supposed gold shipments are free from narcotics. You also have the GRA Customs Unit there to verify that the appropriate taxes and royalties have been paid before the exporter receives the gold seal. Last but not least, you have the police force there, ready to take law enforcement steps if the need arises. So tell me, with such a robust team guarding the country's interest, how were the Mohameds, through their business Mohameds enterprise, able to bypass the system? And not only once, over and over again, according to U.S. investigators. So far, we're told they smuggled 10,000 kilograms of gold out of Guyana, bound for destinations such as the U.S., Dubai, Canada, and the European Union. On the 10,000 kilograms alone, the Guyana government suffered a $50 million loss in duty, taxes, and royalties. And then you have Vice President Jagdeo ordering the GRA and the police force to investigate this matter. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Isn't that a conflict of interest? The U.S. alleges that Guyana customs officials were also part of the alleged gold smuggling scheme. As for the police department, confidence in their ability to conduct transparent investigations is at an all-time low. Let's dig a little deeper into the allegations that the Mohameds were reusing gold seals and customs declaration forms. In regard to the reuse of gold seals, and to seemingly distance himself from any alleged culpability during his stint at the Gold Board, GHK Lal explains that this practice was allegedly happening between the Miami-Dubai leg of the journey. He said, quote, from the indictment, the U.S. officials are saying that the boxes and the seals used in the legitimate export, what pass through the Guyana Gold Board, are then being reused by the alleged gold smugglers from Miami to Dubai and back. End of quote. This statement by Lal suggests that Mohamed's enterprise was smuggling gold out of America. Do you understand the implication here? Is he saying that persons or officials in the U.S. were also involved? Here is what is alleged in the case records. United States versus Nazar and Azruddin Mohamed. According to the federal government, defendants and their accomplices defrauded the Guyana government in connection with taxes and royalties owed on the sale and export of gold by, quote, fraudulently reusing Guyana customs declarations and seals on shipments sent through Miami to make it appear that Mohamed's enterprise had paid taxes and royalties when it had not actually paid them. End of quote. What we understand that to mean is that gold shipments were sent through Miami, not from Miami, in its literal meaning. This suggests that the alleged fraud was taking place either on the Guyana end or sometime during the Guyana to Miami leg of the trip. The how is for investigators to uncover. Here is the final takeaway. Individuals were allegedly assisting the Mohameds, and not just random individuals, people who held influential positions within Guyana government agencies and entities. This is based on the investigations leading up to the Mohameds getting sanctioned in 2024, and more recently, the charges or indictment in 2025. Alrighty guys, we're going to leave this right here. Stay tuned for what's coming up next.